Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' 2 the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
And if it's not your favorite, we have work to do. And trust me, I'm going to devote the next hour to getting one more baby step closer to Critical Blast being your favorite podcast. Good evening, everybody. I am, right there it says, RJ Carter. That's me. I checked my underwear band, still written on there in Sharpie, still me. I am the senior managing editor here at criticalblast.com. For those of you who have forgotten that we have a website, because posted some stuff today, and apparently a lot of people said, oh, you've got a website? Yeah, 7 years now we've had a website. I'm going to have to talk to my marketing department after this and get that sorted out, because that should never happen. But I am also the chief envelope licker here for Critical Blast Logistics, the myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and yes, I do answer the phones and take streams with Critical Blast Consulting. Tonight, we are going to go into the world of Kickstarter for their version of crowdfunded comics. We go back and forth. Sometimes we even go into Patreon. That's a wonderland hole. Let me tell you, I never get that. I don't want to read comics a page a day. I get upset when I tune in for the flight attendant. I'm like, what do you mean I got to wait a week? Dump the whole thing. Anyhow, we are going to be talking about Tilt. And with us, we have Aaron Dowen. Right?
Tis I.
Is you?
Yes. We'll take it.
Now, what you got something going on with the beards and comics and such? Yeah, I forget what that's.
Yeah, we for a while we had a podcast called Beards and Comics Podcast, and it was about being indie and small press comic book creators. And did a bunch of interviews, just kind of the life of comic book creation, and we just put that on hiatus like last week. So
that sounds super exciting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was for us while we did it, but we came to the point where we're getting ready to start hitting the same stuff we've already been talking about. And we just figured it's better just to stop it where it's there. And then we may pick it up again later on. But instead, we put more effort into our other one, which is called the Dementophobia Podcast. And that's one where every week we read pieces of fan fiction and just kind of joke around and have fun with it. So.
Well, that could be fun because
it is.
There's Sturgeon's Law in full effect. You get 90% of stuff you can really laugh at.
Yeah.
Hey, Pops Van Zandt is in the chat. We just ran the promo for CromCon, which begins tomorrow. So,
hey, Pops,
get to bed early, Pops, because it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. You got to get in that sleigh and haul those comic promotions out for the next 2 days.
That's right.
We will be there Saturday ourselves. It's on my calendar, 3:15 my time, I believe. So yeah, hit that up and check it out. So, but yeah, I mean, I remember fan fiction, and when you start just like going down the rabbit hole and that clicking, then you find slash fiction. That's not about slashers. I was scarred. I was scarred by slash fiction. I saw Kirk Spock and like, that's not what I wanted to read. But now I have to know what this. But now I have to know what the Michael / Kit fiction is all about, and that's where I stopped. Speaking of Pops,
hey,
Pops, did you say get sleep? No, man, I got shows to do tonight. But I wanted to come out and say hi to Aaron. I ain't talking to
Hey, Pops. Yeah, it's been a minute.
You shouldn't schedule shows before CromCon, man. I
didn't schedule it. No, I got invited to go out on Pop XP tonight.
Well, then do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's on top of Billy Tucci.
Yeah, Christy, Kara, Armand. A bunch of people gonna be there. That's gonna be cool.
I remember I saw the tweet. Yeah, it's just I saw so many tweets today that it kind of just went in one eyeball and out the back of the head.
Twitter's intense.
Well, I mean, I also promote everything Christy does too, and she's on 2 different shows tonight. So I'm also popping those tweets out there and everything. But I want to see this. Pull this campaign up real quick. Come on, do your job.
You want to see this campaign? Well, here's the thing, Pops. The only campaign you can see is this one that says, "Hey, let me know when they launch."
Yeah, that's right. That's good.
Aaron hasn't launched yet.
That's good though. We need that link in the chat over there, RJ.
Yep, it's right there, pinned at the top of the chat, Pops.
Okay.
And it's also right below the video for everybody watching. So anybody can go out.
All it says is sign up for notices, and then it goes off the screen. You don't see what else. So you have to actually click.
That's because you're reading. That's because you're reading the chats in StreamYard. You got to read the chats in YouTube.
No, I just plucked it out of YouTube. That's what I'm saying. When I went there, it says Critical Blast, sign up for notices at, and then it goes off the screen. There's no link. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you can click on it and open that window up, and then you can see the link, but you can't see the link when you first go in there.
That's just because your chat window is too small. Your chat window is too small. It ellipticized it.
I'm watching on a computer like normal people do.
Well, how about I send you the link?
There you go. Yeah, Heroin Bird coming through. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Heroin Bird always comes through.
That's awesome.
I'm the first thing that strikes me about this campaign is this Michelangelo image here. I mean, every time I look at that, all I can think of is how it was like. How many hundreds of years ago did he paint that thing? 3?
Yes. 4? It would have been 1700s.
Okay, and it took all the way up until like 20 years ago for someone to figure out that's a bisection of the human brain.
We like to have fun with Tilt. He's a fourth wall breaker, and he plays off of tropes a whole lot. And this is the end of his first story arc. So we wanted to have, on the left there is him in the first issue with the t-shirt and hasn't gotten the suit. And then on the right is his third suit in, because, tropes, we made him change suits a lot.
Oh, sure. So he's this is sort of a rags to superpowers kind of story.
Exactly.
And I see he's got a teen sidekick partner. Don't know who that is yet. But
that's Cindy. Sprocket is her hero name. She's the head of research and development for the other gentleman on there, Exquisite. And we find out that she's a superhero and he is just a billionaire, awesome guy.
Can he go buy Twitter? Oh, wait, it's already sold.
Too late.
Well, let's go ahead and play the video here for people and see what it's all about. And I have shared the video and I've shared the sound, so this should be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
What did you find out? A location of where Talon is based, but I can't promise he's even there. If he isn't, someone will know where to find him. I hope you find him. I don't need hope. Hey, Patrick, what? Would you find Talon? Kill him.
Very dramatic. I don't know who the guy is that they're out to kill. We're going to ask questions, but the art looks great.
Yes.
First question. Would you like to send me that trailer so I can play it in my commercial set before the show?
Absolutely.
Do it then.
When do you need it? When do you need it by?
Just send it whenever. I'll just start playing it and play it throughout your campaign.
Sure. I appreciate it. I will.
So for everybody getting involved with Tilt for the first time, who the heck is he? I mean, he's this, obviously he's a superhero. He's got a suit on, but when we see him before, he's like laying on trash bags and hobo bearded and stuff.
Yeah, when we first meet him, he's homeless. He's eating his bagged lunch on an airplane wing and just eating his sandwich and having a good time. He was taken from his home when he was about 15 and experimented on, turned into a mercenary. So he finally got the chance to break out. And that's kind of where we first run into him in issue 1, is after he's been out for a little bit. He decides it's time to become the hero that Boston needs, is where he's based. And then he wants to start tracking down who the people were that took him in the first place. So when we meet him, he's homeless because he doesn't know any other life. He was taken when he was 15, so he's still very much a teenager in his mind as well. So I get to have, quite a fun time telling little things with like Cindy and stuff where there's like a little romance there and he's not sure how to approach it and he's still a teenager in his mind. And we were all awkward at 15 and most are still awkward now. So.
Yeah, well, I certainly haven't outgrown. I'll be 55 next month. And, I'm quite the awkward person around.
Well, we're in comic books. We have to be.
Yeah, we're in comic books. So all I do is I just order my dinner, I tip them $20, and I leave. And I hope that they were a very happy waitress afterwards.
That's right.
And this is when I go to a restaurant called Twin Peaks Pops. It's like Hooters.
For each amount. I get it.
Yeah. That's my social life right there. I go eat by myself, order a beer. And that's, yeah. I have that kind of.
You know what's about to happen, RJ? I'm going to tell you what's about to happen in the next.
What's about to happen, man?
In the next year and a half, you're going to blow up to the point where you're going to be making deals on golf courses. Not sitting by yourself, buddy.
No. But maybe I'll still be.
Yeah, if you catch me on a golf course, something bad happened.
Why?
Yeah, if I'm on a golf course,
Check the lake.
Yeah, that'd be my job. But I will still be here doing
You
this
guys
business.
do know that the biggest deals in the world are made on golf courses, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I hang out there.
I thought it was on Twitter.
Well, yeah, but they're on their phones on the golf course.
Yes,
No, gotcha, yeah.
exactly. Making deals. Or they're
VR golf
golfing with the
course.
guys they're making deals with.
So your approach to tilt, it's got a very Renaissance feel to it the whole way through. I mean, we've got the Michelangelo, we've got the Da Vinci, we've got Michelangelo again with the David.
Yeah.
What's the deal there? Why is that theme running through it all the time?
Well, I like to describe him as he's the superhero you get when you're not specific enough when you ask. And so he's nice looking. You know, I play off of Beefcake a lot in this story because someone that I read a lot before this was Tim Seeley, who wrote like the Grayson series and a lot of Nightwing. And one of the things he did to be playful was to beefcake up Dick Grayson. And I thought that was extremely humorous. And so when I told Joe DeSantos, who did the art on all these, that's what I wanted to do with Tilt, he was like, cool. So that means anytime I can get him out of a shirt, I'm taking him out of a shirt. I was like, do it. So we get to be playful in that dumb kind of manner, which is kind of, you know, in contrast to what most comics are now. So it was just something fun for us to do. But when it comes to who he is as a person, though the story is dark, there's a lot of lighthearted moments. There's a lot of humor in it, and he has a big heart. But yeah, the Renaissance stuff we just thought would be hilarious because he's already playing on tropes anyway, so we might as well just lean into it harder.
Yeah, you could almost say that's what the T on his vest stands for is trope. It's T.
Yeah.
Trope. But it's tilt, and that brings me to the next question, because you know usually when you're a superhero, as much as you're trying to keep your identity secret and keep your enemies in the dark, you make sure that your superhero name describes your powers to a T.
Right.
I mean, you know, if Peter Parker gets bitten by a radioactive spider and goes out and starts calling himself, I don't know, the Green Cigarette, it's going to confuse the villains. They're like, why do you call yourself the Green Silhouette when you're climbing walls and shooting webs? That makes no sense.
So what you're saying is if you get your powers from a dumpster fire, you have to name yourself the Toxic Flame?
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Or just dumpster fire.
That's right.
Well,
The Astonishing Dumpster Fire.
Yeah. So why is this guy Tilt?
Yeah, well, he's actually has an Irish background. His full name is Patrick Itil, and Itil in Irish means flight. So that's one of his main powers. So it's a play off of his last name.
He's not keeping the secret identity thing going at all. He's using his last name for his superhero name.
Yeah, because again, he was taken when he was 15. He doesn't know what the heck's going on.
No secret identity.
No, I mean, if you see him in the first issue, if you see right there laying there, he just put his own freaking logo on his own T-shirt.
Guys,
Haroldberg said we were
pop in, say hi, and do what I like to do: interrupt RJ's stream all the time. That's one of the fun.
Go for it, man.
One of the fun things about having back-to-back studios, we get to mess with each other. Aaron, It was great to see you, man. Good luck, and like I said, send me that video, either Facebook inbox or Pops Van Zant at Outlook.
Appreciate it. I sure will,
Send
man.
it to me. I will add it to my queue.
Thanks.
All right, man.
Y'all have a good night, man.
You
Go
too.
have fun. Tell Niles I said hi.
Please, you bet.
So Harenberg says we were off by a couple of hundred years there. 1500s for Michelangelo at the Sistine Chapel.
So he's still dead.
Yeah, he's still dead.
Okay. That would have been weird.
Go, yeah, I mean, can't go break off a piece of fresco and see if you can get him to sign it at, Renaissance Con.
That's right.
Although that would be kind of cool. Maybe when we start cloning old legends
That's
of history.
exactly what I was just thinking. It was the same thing.
Oh, there was a really interesting book called Saint. I don't know who the author was. It didn't really go anywhere, but I was pulled into it. They weren't cloning people, but they were like, they had this science they were testing, and the only people that funded them were the Vatican. And what it was is they could take a dying person who volunteered, had cancer, was just going to be gone soon, and they were taking DNA and going for the genetic memory, and putting it in, and they resurrected Peter in the form of this dying cancer patient who got better for a while.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, the Vatican wasn't quite too happy when he came back because he didn't quite hold up everything they wanted.
That's what I was just sitting here thinking, was probably the first thing out of his mouth was like, I don't know if you did it right.
Yeah, he cracks a dirty joke, and they're like, what would Jesus say? And he's like, you didn't know him like I did.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you think I learned the joke from?
Yeah, he told me.
That's right.
And Herrenberg's reminding us to do check out Pops and other creators from Demon Bitch and Guardians on the Pop XP channel at 9 p.m. That would be Eastern time after this show. So don't leave. Don't run off yet. We still got a lot to do here. So how big are these books? I mean, are these your standard floppies?
Yeah, there's our standard 22 pagers. Actually, the first one might be a little bit longer. I don't remember. It's been so long now.
But yeah. They're not like full-blown graphic novel sized.
No. In fact, the reason we're doing this collection is because it'll be the last time for everybody to get the floppies before it just becomes a trade.
Yeah, it's trades are the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're seeing him here. He's exquisite. That's not a super. That is a superhero name, and yet the guy's not a superhero. He's just smooth.
He's exquisite about it. I mean,
yeah, he just changed his name.
Fourth issue, he's wearing a white suit.
Is the guy, is Tilt invulnerable as well as a flyer? I mean, is he just?
Yeah, he's got again, like I said, it was a play off of a bunch of tropes, and someone eloquently described it as Superman if Superman didn't give a shit. And I think that's pretty apt. Yeah, exactly. That same kind of vibe. So he has a bunch of the same power set, but even he's learning about his own power set still. And you see some of that at the end of the first issue and the beginning of the second one.
Because I was seeing these blood stains here on his white uniform, and then I was realizing they're not his. So.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why he leaves the white suit. That they're like, oh, white was probably a bad color for you.
Yeah, let's put you in a red suit.
Yeah.
What show is bad?
You'll never see me bleed.
So issue 4 is completely done, folks. It's written, it's lettered, it's everything.
It is ready. The only thing left to do is put in the thank you page after the campaign's done.
Okay. So what's holding back the launch?
I want to build it up. I want to do this different. Normally we'll get to like 50 backers launch and we're good to go. Because we don't just do this, we do some other stories as well. But when it comes to this one in particular, myself and the other owner, Matt of Catalyst Comics, we both grew up reading superhero stuff. So to us personally, we're both more passionate, I guess, about the superhero stuff, and we want it to do well. Superhero stuff is difficult when it comes to the indie world and the small press world. But I want to do something different and do most of the work ahead of time this time, rather than launching and then doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. That makes good sense. You can make sure you got an audience ready to receive. And folks, if you want to be part of that audience, the link that is below and above, what we discussed earlier, that will take you to this sign-up page here. That's what's live right now. We are looking at a preview of what the campaign will look like when it launches. So you got stickers. People like the stickers.
You have to, gotta have them. And that's an oxalotl, which is,
those are creepy.
I think they're adorable.
It's like, yeah, I know, but that's what makes them creepy. It's like, what if a Muppet were actually alive? I mean, here's this smiling aquatic creature crawling around. Like, no, stop.
But they're so hot right now.
I know. It's more like a lizard or something. Yeah. Well, that's the next trend. You just get these loose rubber bands with bow ties on them and get them for your axolotl.
Exactly.
They fit loosely. He just swims around with it. Now I want.
I mean,
one.
we give some pretty random stuff away sometimes. This is the random thing for this one. Really, is like a just. Oh no, wait! It gets more random. I forgot. But no, one of the campaigns we gave away mustaches to the first 50 backers. Just fake mustaches.
That's pretty random.
Yeah. Well, it was a spy thriller book, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it worked.
Give away newspapers with like holes cut in the page.
Oh, we did some cool stuff. We had like classified file that went to everybody, had a dossier in it. This next one that we're sending out, it's getting elevated quite a little bit. We're actually packaging all those up on Monday and shipping all those out. So then we can put even more focus into this tilt stuff.
Excellent. Mike Walters in the chat. He's also starting his show up at 9 p.m. Eastern, right after ours, dropping in to say hi. And he did share the chat. I've been told that I don't do this, and I should get over myself and encourage everyone to share the chat and hit the like and subscribe button there. That's my pitch. If you do it, great. If you don't, I don't care. No, of course. I'm about the people on the show. I'm not about the show itself, but I think I can better serve the people on the show if more people see it, right?
Always.
So it's a $5 digital issue. I feel like I'm wanting to sell this right now, Aaron, and I do get people to sign up because we do have a lot of people who watch who are digital only by necessity. I like this pack right here. If you're a digital person, you've not seen Tilt, all 4 issues for $10. Just skip past this one unless you've already got them, and get the whole shooting match right here
For sure.
because that's a lot of reading for $10.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're offering free U.S. shipping.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we do is ship. And I'm sitting here thinking, there's the money's there to cover it. You're only selling these books for like $4.
I mean, it depends on where it's shipping, because we have a couple different places to ship out of as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's been working.
Yeah, I mean, go with God. If you can live on what's left, great.
Yeah.
This will get you, of course, the physical cover A. Now we got to see the covers. Are they on here yet? Because I know the campaign's still kind of being built.
Yeah. So this campaign, that's going to be the cover, and there's a reason for it. Like that's going to be the cover. I don't know why I put cover A on there when it's the only cover, but
That's what I was.
It's habitual. I don't know.
I like the fact that it's. I always loved the landscape covers. If you want to read it, you gotta tilt it.
Yeah. If there was ever an issue to do it for, it was going to be this one. So Matt slayed it with that cover, and it's one of my favorite pieces.
Are the interiors also? I mean, I've seen books where you read it sideways.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that. I thought about it, but that would have been like, I didn't want people to read 1, 2, 3, and then like, oh God, what happened? It works great as an issue, not so much when the trade comes out. It's like exactly,
or the PDF. The PDF
right,
is
exactly. Yeah, that would be haunting me. So,
but $12 is still a great deal. And I thought you were getting the book and the digital copy. You're getting the book and the digital library.
Yeah, you'll get all 4 of the tilts digitally. Yeah.
When do you think you might launch this thing? Because
honestly, probably June is what I'm thinking right now.
That's forever from now in terms of crowdfunding.
I know. I've just been lining up shows to talk about it beforehand because, like I said, I figured I would guinea pig this thing and like, what happens if I do a bunch of shows and stuff before the campaign?
Yeah. What happens if we tell people about it before we launch? That might be what a novel idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because typically that's all like on our podcast. That's what ended up happening was everybody would contact us and be like, hey, can we get on your show? We have an active campaign, which is fine. A lot of shows are fine with that. But at some point I was like, what if you did this before?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to try it on this tilt one.
Yeah, and the trick is you got to do both. you got to be out there during the active campaign as well. But
yeah, for sure. $
25, you get all 4 in physical.
Mm-hmm.
That that's you couldn't get that price at newsstand, folks. Plus, you get all the digitals, and you get an exquisite trading card of exquisite. You get the Sprocket trading card, and you get Tilt
nonchalant
Tilt die cut sticker. I love die cut stickers. I love
me
them
too.
far more than rectangular or even circular stickers. Our stickers are circles, but that's because our logo's a circle.
Yeah, ours too.
It's so easy to build a brand in that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you're going to have bonus items. You're going to have T-shirts.
Fourth
issues. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
T-shirts.
this one we're doing picking a side pretty much. You get to pick a hero pack or a villain pack. Or, of course, people can pay and get both. And so you'll get everything according to that particular one, which is going to be patches. And then you're going to get an exclusive T-shirt with just that character, the trading card, and a handwritten letter from one or the other.
Okay. So when I first saw hero or villain, I thought maybe the question was specifically about Tilt. But you're talking about do you pick the hero shirt or the villain shirt?
Yeah.
And who is this villain?
So that's Talon. Yeah. He is the main antagonist for the Tilt storyline that you kind of discover at the end of the second issue. And then the hunt is on. He does some crazy stuff in the third one. And then the fourth issue is really the showdown. But he is they were both mercenaries together. And so they're ex-partners. And so they're kind of at each other's throats.
So were they both taken by the same outfit?
Yes.
Okay.
They were both taken by the main baddies in the entire universe are the Council of Elders, which is just a hyper secretive organization that's kind of all across the globe. Their hands are in a little bit of everything. They do human trafficking. They do all the bad stuff, but stuff that also makes money. And we don't know who they are. And so Patrick's kind of goal is to figure out who it is. But he has no idea that Talon is still alive. He had thought that he was dead. And then Talon still thinks that Tilt's still working for the council. So it gets bad. Like I said, though, there's a lot of heart and there's a lot of character development in just 4 issues with all these different characters.
So is Talon a physical match for Tilt, or is it more of the Superman Lex Luthor kind of, you need a better plot or something?
Talon is a little bit more of the plotter. He's a little bit more seasoned than Tilt. And he's also more of the, on the anarchy side of it, where he, you could tell when you first see the flashback that he didn't really care that much about working for the council anymore and thinks that they were just abusing them or whatever. And so he wanted to get out, and then the council isn't having that. And so I wanted to make sure that while Tilt is overpowered on purpose, to be a trope on, things like Superman, Hancock, all that, that I wanted to have a villain who could cut in a different way. And that way is through his path. Tilt starts meeting to love, so he matches them very well in that way.
I just noticed, and I'm curious of the intention on this or happy accident of it. Both their logos are a T.
Yes.
That was intentional to make them sort of dark mirror each other or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, your video is frozen up.
Oh no,
you're talking, but you're not moving, but you're still here. So
okay.
It'll probably catch up at some point.
Okay,
as long as you're not like holding up objects for us to look at.
No. Let's see.
Now this, I am so happy to see, because this cover is such a gorgeous and unique take that how could you not offer it in a canvas frame or canvas frame? I am curious about the dollar value, because I'm not saying it's high or anything, because it's a tier with this stuff, and you're expecting it to be more. But it's not even. It is even. 4 is an even number, but it's a weird figure.
We did it just so you would say that. So nailed it. We were just like, what if we just did a weird number, and that was the number we came up with? Because we could have easily done 250 or 225 or whatever. We're like 234. That's just funny to us.
Yeah, well, it works. And with this one, you're not only going to get the print. Now,
No, not frame.
The frame. What my question was going to be is the print I can't get the words out together. Is it a picture of a frame, or is the frame just added for effect here?
So I was at an art museum and I saw this nice painting with that frame at the end of the wall, and I just took a picture of it and then I just put the tilt cover in it.
Okay, that because I was like, so the print is the print. I didn't know if I was like going to unroll it and the picture would include the picture of the frame printed on it.
No. It'll be just the actual cover, and it's going to be the canvas wrap on wood, and it'll be shipped that way and everything.
I've got to get that. That means I'm going to have to get 2 gold filigree frames, because we have another interviewer on the show. His name is Marmalade. He's a big orange puppet. He talks to people, but I got to get his studio set back up, and I showed the company men earlier because I'm fulfilling that. I was also a backer, so one of the books was mine, and they all came with hand drawn sketch cards, 4x6 sketch card. So one of the advantages of being the guy who fulfills them is when he says, "Hey, they're all random cards. You put one in any of them. One of them's not going to be so random. I'm going to take the one I really like." But I'm going to put this in a little gold filigree frame. Nice. This is going to sit on the wall of Marmalade's studio. Yeah, it'll be like our founder or something, because it looks a lot like Marmalade.
That's awesome.
I haven't used him in a very long time because it was just too difficult to keep the studio set up in these cramped little quarters here. When I finally move out, some glorious day in the not too distant future, right after Buck Rogers disappears in the spaceship. That's already happened, hasn't it? Reappears. I guess he's going to reappear anytime now.
That's right.
That will be when I go to the studio. Okay, this is what happens when I don't get to see a campaign until the moment it's shared with me before the show. Everybody's doing plushies. Not everybody, but a lot of people doing plushies. Nobody's doing a sandwich plushie.
Nope.
Why is there a sandwich plushie, and why does it have a face?
Because, I can't tell you what the face is for, but if you see that panel on the right, that is from the first issue, and it has been one of the most asked about things was him just sitting on a plane wing eating his lunch at the beginning of the issue. And we just thought, let's bring this thing full circle, and we'll just give away freaking sandwich plushes because that's hilarious. And those were the ones that we found, and I think they're adorable. There's no purpose to the face, but they're just cool.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like some psychotic break here where like every once in a while he talks to his sandwich or something.
Yeah.
Talk back. Of course, if you really want to be in the know, you can add on this T-shirt for the Council of Elders.
Yep.
Which is sort of an upside down T.
It's a play on stuff.
Yeah. It's like if we put an upside down T over Darth Vader's silhouette.
There you go.
Now I'm just making it up. So yeah, there's no prices on these yet because no prices on this yet. This is gonna be an add-on.
Yep. I'm just gonna do an add-on only for that.
I love the add-ons because I'm sure that at some point all of this stuff about this tier, that tier, mix it up, max it up. It's going to go away. People are just going to say, you know what? Here's the hot dog.
Exactly. And that ultimately would be the best thing to happen. Unfortunately, they haven't done it yet. But that's the way I think people need to start treating Kickstarter anyway, is just piecemeal it and get the things you want. Yeah. Some people do just want the simplicity of the pre-made packages, and that's fine. But for me, like one of the things that we did on the last campaign was down there, there's the 2 flash fiction stories. On the last campaign, I did an add-on only T-shirt. But if you added on that T-shirt, I also sent them a flash fiction story that nobody else got. So stuff like that is just fun for me because I'm a writer. That's just what I enjoy doing in any way that I can do it, prose or comic books. And so I got to do that with this one as well, where I'm going to give 2 exclusive flash fiction stories to that tier.
Now you've been writing comics for a while. In fact, I've got your other website up here, Catalyst Comics. It's Catalyst Comics Studio. The two S's will go together. I'll throw it in the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
So Tilt is Tilt your did it start out being your first series or
Nope.
Walk us through Catalyst.
Yeah, first book that ever came out was Paradigm. And that was back in 2018. And then we fulfilled that campaign at the beginning of 2019. And that was kind of the beginning of everything for us. And that is part of Tilt's universe as well. So Catalyst Comics Universe covers Paradigm, Tilt, and Silhouette right now. And Silhouette is a different superhero who has right now just a short story that's available on like Amazon. It's on our website too, but it's a short story told from the viewpoint of who's going to end up becoming her arch nemesis. And we discover more about the Council of Elders in there. And that's when we realized that they're into the human trafficking game as well. But yeah, Paradigm is the initial thing. And I created that character, but then I had this whole sheet of fun things that I thought would be awesome for him, but ultimately didn't work. So I took those and that's what became Tilt.
Okay.
But I wrote Paradigm's whole first arc together, and I wrote Tilt's whole first arc together.
All right. So when I click on the Paradigm image, I just see issue number 1.
Yep.
Are all the other issues available, or?
Nope. Issue 2 is in production right now. So it's not out yet, but we're hoping probably the end of this year. And then that artist, that's Matt, he's going to stop making Paradigm, and he's going to switch over back to Everville and just finish out that whole story arc because people want more Everville. That is our dark fantasy horror book. So people keep asking us to keep going with that. So we want to make sure we put that out soonish.
Because that just looks. Now this says in the very small print, Uprising number 1, and then there's more Uprising down here for One Last Job. Is Uprising? Is this part of the Catalyst universe, or are you imprinting this as a separate universe?
So Uprising is a creator-owned imprint, whereas anything that doesn't have Uprising on it is probably part of the superhero universe, because that was our first love, and that's kind of the way we left that. So we created Uprising because we're going to start at some point publishing other people's books as well. But for now, we wanted to have a separate place for things that aren't connected to the superhero stuff. Such as Welcome to Everville and One Last Job. And One Last Job 2, we are fulfilling that campaign Monday, and then the issue will be available probably the end of next month on the website.
I'm hearing about a lot of campaigns that I did not hear about until this moment, Aaron.
Yeah, we're going. Tilt 4 is going to be our 7th campaign.
You got to start hitting me up more regularly.
I'm just discovering the world of podcasts on Twitter. Even for our own podcast, we were on Facebook and Instagram, and that's where we met most everybody that we know. And then recently I was like, let me get on Twitter, and you were part of that post. So that was the first time I ever asked to be on other people's shows on Twitter. And, there's like 98. It got crazy on there.
Yeah. There's a lot of podcasters networking on Twitter. This right now we are simulcasting to Facebook and YouTube. I could pay more money and go more places with it, I guess. But
yeah, they just hit my account.
Yeah,
we use StreamYard for all of our stuff as well. We do it for meetings, we do it for pre-recordings, and then we used to do live shows all the time, but we stopped doing that. And Beards and Comics used to be a live show. We stopped doing that. I forgot that it was on automatic renewal.
Oh, so you're paying for it every year then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I'm paying by the month because I'm stupid that way. I'm paying an extra $50 a year, I'm sure, by doing that. But we can transmit to 3 places right now as it is, and I still only transmit to 2. So I'm like, if I'm only doing 2 of the 3 options, why give you $50 for 8 more places that I won't broadcast to?
Yeah, absolutely.
I could send it to Twitter right now, or I could send it to Twitch right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have obviously channels on both, but YouTube's where the monetization is.
Yeah,
not that that's the only reason I'm doing it, because if it was, then Tilt would be eating better than I was sitting on his trash bags.
I get it.
You get a check once a year, and And you better make that $100 last.
That's right.
So you get $10.20 a month, son. Don't spend it all in one place, or less than that. But you've got an entire line of books here.
Yeah. And
not that I didn't mean to click this one, but I'm going to anyway because I want to see I want to see the shining faces of the creators here. There, of course, is yours, Matt Sotelo, Kat Mila. That name sounds familiar.
I don't know. She did a lot of stuff on Instagram. She was working on a Bard's Tale. I don't know if she'll ever actually come through with it though. So.
Okay, Joe DeSantos, all these colors, Ramon Amancio and Daniel Jimeno.
Yes, yeah. Daniel's work on One Last Job is perfect. It's exactly what
I just love that cover illustration. That was really cool.
Oh, and she won?
Yeah.
That's my first ever cover that I made.
Well, you did a great job on that, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You should try out this comics gig. It might be right up your alley.
I just want to write, man. No, I'm a graphic designer outside of all this stuff, and that's all that was glorified graphic design. So
I have found out that I'm pretty good at art direction as long as I don't have to be the one to produce it. I can tell somebody else in great detail how to get it right, and then they do it. But I clicked here because I thought this would be like your shop, but this is where you can get your comics. Physically, you drove a long way. To visit these stores because you're in North Carolina and South Carolina, which I'm going to guess is home hub.
Yeah, home is North Carolina.
And then California.
Yeah, so California, John runs Encased Comics, and he's also the guy that runs Maverick Distribution, and that's where like our books are distributed through. It's a newer distribution company, but it's us and a few others. Yeah, they're new.
I'm just cracking that nut myself. I mean, I've got, in addition to fulfillment for campaigns a lot, I've encouraged campaigns to overship, and I'll hold inventory so that they get more orders. They don't have to resend.
Yeah.
But at some point, orders start coming in. I'll still have inventory. I've built up a catalog that's finally big enough for me to work with. Mm-hmm. And I've asked them all, say, give me your retailer price. So I can put it in the catalog. And I've got about 2,500 email addresses for comic shops in the U.S. that I'm going to send the catalog to.
Yeah,
we'll see how that works. Get crowdfunded books in stores. It's going to be a trial balloon. I've got moderate things
slowly but surely.
Yeah. I just I didn't want to send them a page of 2 comics.
Right.
But you can buy these through your shop link store. Shop.
Yeah.
So this was your. Well, if I point to it, it loses it. I do like that. This is photo overlay. I forget the words for the diffusion of the colors here, but
just a bunch of manipulation.
But you can also you can get the digital copies here. Don't right now. Obviously, get the digital copies to the Kickstarter. It'd be much better deal.
And you might get some extra stuff slipped in there. So.
Yes, exactly. But when the Kickstarter is over and you're thinking to yourself, man, why did I get these? Or for the stuff that's already passed, like Paradigm, Everville, there's One Last Job. Hit the link in the chat. I keep trying to say Cataclysm.
You're not the only one.
which has nothing to do with Catholic school. I mean, catechism.
Or nothing to do with Catalyst.
Yeah. It's just Catalyst Comics Studio.com. Hit it up. Where did that come from, by the way? I mean, you guys brainstormed ideas for a brand.
Actually, it was really me. So I had a different partner in the very beginning, and he kind of fell off the face of the map. But it was a name that I was passionate about because of what it means. Catalyst is something that can cause change in something else without itself undergoing any massive change. And so I grew up in church, and I'm a pastor's kid. And so that kind of rung in my brain for a long time, just what that word meant. So it's been there for a long time, and I was like, oh, I'm making a comic book company. How about trying to change stuff without having to just wreck who you are as a person?
Wow, what a concept. Yeah, and don't worry about wrecking yourself as a person. Twitter exists to do that to you for
Exactly.
you. So just be yourself, and we'll tear you down.
That's right. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I want to be important enough to get torn down.
Yeah. I want to be canceled someday.
Yeah.
And actually have people know that I was.
That's right.
So probably launching in June, folks. You've seen, here's some of the interior art here. Some standout stuff.
Yeah, this was so the colorist, his name's Ramon. I actually think he's quitting color, and I think we broke him. But the only books he ever did were Tilt 1 through 4.
Well, he's doing a fine job of it.
I agree.
He'll come back. He does too good of work.
Oh, absolutely. Somebody will throw him the amount that's like, all right, I'll do it.
Okay. I like also that you're sticking with the traditional costumes for villains with the color schemes.
Yeah.
Which primary colors go to heroes, secondary colors go to villains. That's what when it goes the other way, it kind of is unsettling. When you see the boys and there's Homelander in his bright royal blue killing people. Like, no, wait, what?
I wanted a universe where I could play with the I guess the mental state of the characters, and I didn't want it to be too off-putting. So some things that are classic, my feeling is that classic will always be cool. So some things that are classic, I don't care enough to change that too much. I would rather get into the heart of the story and make you think about the characters in a different way, or even with someone like Talon, by the end of that story arc, you're kind of like, well, I can kind of see why he thought what he thought, even if he took the action that was way too far.
Yeah, and I'm guessing here that he's not quite so super, only because he's using a gun, which is what leads me to think he's not super. But then I'm thinking, I've got to see this next page because Talon knows that Tilt can't be shot, so why bother?
Well, there's things he knows and things he doesn't know, because there's things that Tilt's just learning. So ignorance to a certain extent is no bueno. Okay. But yeah, I mean, he still gets injured. I mean, he still can take a bullet. He can still get stabbed. We'll see that repeatedly throughout those 4 issues and anything that goes on beyond this.
Yeah, I mean, bank robbers are still shooting Superman.
Exactly.
When he comes in the door, even though they know better. And he still ducks when they throw their gun.
That's right. It's a very brutal fight between the two of them. I think it was something like 12 or 13 pages of fighting within a 22-page story.
Oh, wow. This is a slobber knocker.
Yeah, I just went for the last one, and there's a lot of like clips and talking throughout it, and like some character moments. But it's, for me, I was like, well, if I'm going to go hard on a final showdown between the two of them, then I'm going to go hard.
Fight until the revelation stops them.
Exactly.
That's always the case, isn't it? I mean, in these last issues of something, it's either like, I'm going to kill you and it's going to be fast, or we're going to fight it out and something's going to stop us that makes us go, wait, what? And
yeah. It ends with a large cliffhanger that is to set up what's going to happen in the next story arc whenever we get to the next story arc. I try to tell people that ask us a lot about Tilt is that when this issue comes out, our next focus is getting that sucker turned into a trade. Because like you said, that's really where you start making the money back. And so for us, that's our focus right now. And then later on, we'll revisit Tilt when people want more. But the next story arc's already planned out, and it's going to a whole different level.
Now, are you going to start the next story arc with Tilt number 5, or are you going to go Tilt number 1, subtitle something?
It'll be 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing the legacy stuff.
Yeah, well, that's just it. That continuing on is sort of a legacy thing because,
right.
my LCS guy who Michael Tierney comes on the LCS guy show every other Saturday here, says that's one of the reasons why he's lost so many customers is because everything keeps getting restarted and people liked. I'm going to say continuity. I don't mean continuity of universe because it's always changing, but continuity of publishing, where you can say, hey, this thing's been around for 416 issues and I've got so many of them and I can fill these holes. If it's like issue number 2, it's like, it hadn't been around that long,
right?
Or it's totally different than what it was, and I don't care to fill in any of the holes.
Yeah, and there's still that lack of understanding for new customers, new people walking into a shop. They're going to see issue number 1, and they'll be like, "Oh, let me go ahead and grab the issue number 1." And you start reading it, and you're like, "There's a lot of stuff that happened before this number 1 issue."
Which is what the publishers wanted you to do, was pick it up because it says number 1. But
how does that affect repeat customers?
Yeah, it was much better when you could pick up number 312 and not only know that there was a lot that went on beforehand, but not need to know all that stuff that went on beforehand.
Exactly.
It's like Shooter said, every comic is someone's first comic.
That's right.
Make sure they can get into it. Thank you, Heroinberg, for putting that out there, that you can access that link. Go out there and get Tilt 1 through 4, the whole story. Sign up for it so that when it does launch, you'll get 2 notifications. You'll get one notification that, hey, the Kickstarter has launched, go out and back it. And you'll get another notification on your Twitter that we're going to have Aaron back on the show to go over the project in detail now that it's actually live and we can get you to open your wallets for it. Right, Aaron?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Man, now I got to pick a date.
I know. We're here Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, thank you. Do hit the like button, and go out to Aaron's Twitter page and follow him.
And if you just feel like reading stuff, I have a Substack too. So I don't know.
You got Substack too, and everybody's got Substack but me.
Well, get on it.
It's the last thing I need to do.
Well, mine's for not comic book stuff. That's why I made it, was because I write other stuff. Like every Friday is my creators' mental health post. It's just an article about creators' mental health because we all have problems.
Tell me about it. I've been living in here for a year, and just came off a divorce, and I've been having very much trouble getting back. I mean, you see the banner behind me here. It's not just Critical Blast. It's The Destroyer, which was a book series that I was invited to write on, and I got 3 books in and 2 books turned into the publisher that they're still looking at. But I'm like, it's been a long time, and I need to be kicking more books out, and I haven't been. It's just been like I sit and stare at the screen. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to happen this time, is it?
Well, maybe those articles are for you then.
Maybe they are. I should go out and read them and get myself motivated.
Yeah.
All right, we are speaking of books, though. I've taken the lazy literary way, Aaron.
Okay.
And instead of writing, I'm editing.
Yeah, I do that too.
we have an anthology that is coming out very soon now. Just waiting for the guys to finish the adjustments to the cover spine and the back text. The Devil You Know Better is the follow-up to The Devil You Know. 20 short stories by authors you're going to know. It's not a comic book. This is story stuff. We are going to run an Indiegogo on this very shortly. That will be a hardcover version, oversized, larger size, not oversized. It'll be
that'd be weird.
it'll be this sized edition of the hardcover kind of thing. This kind of book, 6 something by 9 something.
Yeah.
It will be signed by 2 of the writers, those being Mike Barron and Hart D. Fisher, who are both contributors to the book. And the way we're looking at this right now, we have contracted with an artist who's doing 2 illustrations. And for every $500 milestone we hit on this campaign, we will add a chapter illustration until all 20 are illustrated. And if we hit 500 beyond that, we'll just offer the illustrations as a set of prints in addition to the book, maybe. We'll do something special. But the book's going to be in Amazon. The regular book is going to be in Amazon and everywhere else you can buy books. We're publishing through Ingram Spark. The writers have been paid. The stories have been written. The print file has been formatted in 2 different ways.
Did you say writers got paid?
It's amazing. Here's Aaron. The first book we did was I I mean, we were such small press. I'm like, look, like 5 copies of the book is yours. And I talked with the guy who does Rayland.org, and he's, very great guy in the community who is always listing the projects. He's like, if you just offered like $20 and 1 copy of the book, more people would come in, because it's like they can say it's a cash sale instead of anything else, and it didn't cost you nearly as much.
Right.
He was right. And being a new commodity, we struggled for like 3 months to get the 10 stories that we got. And that was for Gods and Services, which was a little tropey thing about, shop pops up, the board sign says Goods and Services, but one of the O's fell out, and that's not by mistake. You buy a tchotchke, it comes with the god. You've now made an offering to the god, and he or she is determined to make your life better, whether you want it to or not. And the shop's gone, by the way, so you can't return it. Wasn't a runaway success, but it was fun,
right?
And it made some money, not enough to pay me back what I paid the writers, but I said, hey, you know what? I want to do this one about the devil, which is just people running into the devil. Be comedy, can be horror, can be folktale, fantasy. We had science fiction. We had a whole panoply of stuff. Like, I really struggled for 3 months getting enough. Maybe I better have it a 4-month reading period. In a 4-month reading period, I had about 175 submissions, because guess what? Authors got paid the last time, and the book came out the last time, and you're like, oh, he really does it.
Right.
So I ended up with 20 stories. Cost more to do that, but they were all quality books. And I just did the same thing this time. Like, we're gonna. You saw the cover that I had up there, the devil holding a contract with 2 fingers up. The original one was just all 4 fingers clamped around the contract. So I told the artist, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. And of course, when we do the devil best, it'll either be 3 fingers, or he'll be doing whatever this is, hook 'em horns. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
But and then that'll be the end of it. I don't see us doing beyond the 3rd issue. But we got, not only did we get a lot of submissions, but we got submissions from people the likes of which I would not have expected to submit. I'm not going to go into a revelation of all the names right now, but I'm like, I thought Mike Barron and Hart Fisher, those were going to be my names. I knew these guys, and they, helped me out by contributing. They got paid. And, these are the names I'm going to have signed. So I got a guy coming on with blind submission. He's got a freaking Disney Channel show, Disney Plus show. So I'm like, okay, thank you. We'll take it. I mean, that's what I tried to do with Gods and Services too, is, doing the website and the reviews for the website. I had connections through Scholastic. I had connections through Simon & Schuster. I was doing reviews of their product all the time and interviews with their authors. So I made friends. And I was like, I reached out, and it's like, hey, would you be open to doing a story for this under this trope? And some of them did. And I liked that, because I knew the rest of the guys were going to be probably still first-time submitters, or, people still looking for their first publication. And many of them were. And giving, first-time writers to say, hey, I was good enough to be published in a book with this guy. Sort of lent that gravitas to get, people off the ground. And, the good thing is I've seen those names reappear now in other books. So they're out there, and they're making their way in writing.
It's awesome.
Why was I talking about that? Oh, because I'm not writing, I'm editing. Both times we did The Devil the purpose was the intent of it was for me to finish my own short story, which was called The Devil I didn't do it either time to include it. So I've got one more shot to get it in there.
You're holding on to that record.
Yeah. I'm like, I've got this clever idea that I haven't seen done with a devil interview. And I've got to get it out there before somebody else does, because then it'll be like, well, it's too late.
Yep. Blew it.
So many of those things, you've got the idea, and you sit on it, and next thing you know, you're watching a movie and like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
somebody's making
I get it.
$2 million off the idea that you would have had 6 years ago if you'd have just got off your butt and done it.
Yep.
Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. What is here is Tilt number 4, getting ready to launch soon. Watch for it, folks. Sign up at the link below the video. If you're watching this on the replay, obviously you're not going to see the chat. So we put it right down there. Click. If you are watching it even later, fortunately, Kickstarter will forward you to the active campaign. So, if you're going to sign up and you're presented with a campaign, lucky you get to spend money now. Do it that way. There's nothing wrong with that.
I appreciate it.
Yes. So, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on tonight and reaching out. And Tilt looks like a fun book. I'm going to be watching for this myself. In fact, I'm going to, I will say, notify me. Am I logged in? Yeah,
All right, let's watch his password, y'all.
See, look at that. I have clicked through on things that I click on a tier and then I
look at Madeline just crushing down there. Gosh.
Yeah, look at that. Boston Metaphysical Society. This did not take me back to your page. That's okay. I'll just do it this way because now I'm logged in, and now I will say notify me on launch. So I will get an email. This is I don't think I have to confirm that either. I think it's just we know you mean it. We'll do it.
Yeah, as soon as it launches, you'll get them. You'll get the memo.
Excellent, folks in the chat. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show unless you're here to watch it. We're just that tree falling in the woods. And while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.